Hello class, this is a video tutorial on increasing or decreasing an amount by a percentage. In this video, we'll be looking at an alternative method where we actually add or subtract 100% by the given percentage, and then we multiply by the original amount. In comparison, in these sets of examples, we first found 20%, and then if it was adding, if it was increasing, we would add it. And if it was decreasing, we would just subtract 55 minus the 35% that we just found. Now let's take a look at these examples. So for this, step 1 is we add or subtract 100% by the given percentage. So we start first with 100%. And to this, we're going to add by the amount we are going to increase or decrease by. So since this is since this is increasing, we're going to add 5%. And so we are going to work with 105%. This amount we now multiply by the original amount. So 105% as a decimal, we're going to write this as 1.05, and this we are going to multiply by the original amount of 150. And so it is this that we are now going to calculate. It's as we've done before. It makes it a lot easier by making this first into a whole number. So we need to move this 2 spaces to the right. We do that by multiplying by 100. And so our calculation is 105 times 150. We can calculate this by doing the column multiplication. Now for this, I'm going to make it a little bit easier. Instead of 150, I'm going to multiply this by 15. So it's going to be 105 times 15. Okay, and then because it's 150, I'm just going to multiply it by 10 by adding another 0 at the end of this. So multiplying this now, column multiplication, 5 times 5 is 25. 0 times 5 is 0, plus that 2, 20, so 2. 1 times 5, that's just going to be 5. We're finished with that 5. We are now multiplying by the 1. But remember, this 1 is a 10, so we put a 0 here. And then we just multiply as we normally do. 1 times 5 is 5. 0 times 1, 0. And 1 times 1 is 1. We now just add this vertically, so 5, 7, 5, 1. And remember, since it's going to be 150 and not 15, this needs a 0 at the very end of this. So this gives us 15750. But since we have multiplied by the 100, we need to reverse that and divide by the 100, which moves this decimal place back 2 spaces. This will give us 157.50 because this is in money. So notice how in this method we have added the 5%, and then simply by multiplying by 1.05, this amount is already the increased amount. Unlike before, we had to find the 5% first and then add it. So we'll demonstrate this again in another example. So with increasing by 15%, we start off with the 100%, and we're going to add on, because it is increasing, we are adding. We are now finding 115%. And as a decimal, this will become 1.15 times the 88 that we are working with. And once again, at this point, we need to make this into a whole number. So we are multiplying by 100, giving us 115 times 88. And it is this amount we are now going to work with by column multiplication. So 115 times 88, and working through that method. 5 times 8 is 40. 1 times 8 is 8, plus 4 is 12. So we put 1 and 2, that's 12. And then 1 times 8 is 8, plus the 1 gives us 9. We are finished working with the 8, and now we are working with this 80. So we need to put a 0 for the 80, and then we repeat the method. 5 times 8 is 40. It's the same number here, so 4t, 40. 1 times 8 is 12. Sorry, 1 times 8 is 8 plus the 4 gives us 12. Carry the 1. And then 1 times 8 is 8 plus the 1 gives us 9. Adding everything together, this gives us 0, 2, and then 10. So this gives us 1, 0, 1, 2, 0. Whoops. And once again, 2, 0. Once again, because we've multiplied by that 100, we're going to divide by that 100 to move the decimal place back and to reverse this times 100. This gives us 101.20. And since this is in centimeters, the increased amount is 101.2 centimeters. All right, so I hope that gave you an insight into this alternative method. So notice how we are adding or subtracting, and we'll do this in the next video. We are adding the 5% or the increasing amount to 100, and it is that amount that we multiply the original amount by to find the increased amount. All right, so hope to see you in the next video, and best of luck.